first. That is, we have come from Allah and we are heading to Allah. That is, the soul was given to us by Allah, and this soul has to be submitted and returned back to Allah. It is an amana that has been given to us, and this amana has to be returned back to Him. So that is why we find that when so much of emphasis is given to you, that you have to take care of your body, you can't destroy it, you can't ruin it, you can't hurt it. وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ, that you don't put yourself into danger. Because why? Because this body is an amanat that has been given to us, which has to be returned back to Him. So the creation that Allah has, it could be classified into two things, or everything that is in this grand creation of Allah, it could be classified into two parts. For example, if you see Surah Al-Mulk starts saying that تَبَارَكَ الَّذِي بِيَدِهِ الْمُلْكِ, that glory belongs to Him who possesses, or in whose possession is the kingdom. Or in Surah Al-Yasin, the last verse says that وَسُبْحَانَ الَّذِي بِيَدِهِ مَلَكُوتُ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ, that glory belongs to Him in whose possession is the kingdom of everything. So what is the difference in that mulk in Surah Al-Mulk and this malakut in Surah Yasin? Both are translated as kingdom, mulk and malakut. The reality behind that is mulk is the kingdom of matter, which is the material world. Malakut, it is the unseen, it's the moral world, it's the spiritual world. So everything that we have in this world, it has two forms, or it has two shapes, or it has two dimensions, two sides. One is the material dimension, one is the moral dimension. Human body, it's also the same. We have a material dimension, which is the body of this individual, and the moral or the spiritual dimension of it, it's that soul. So one is mulk, the other is malakut. Or the soul belongs to the malakut, that is the spiritual world, and that was given to us, and a shell was given to it, which is the body, which is the material form of that material form which has been given to that soul. So human body, he is a being made of a soul and a body, a compound of body, flesh, skin, bones, vessel, fat, nerves, etc. So that is the shell that has been given to it, made from the elements which are the simple elements created on this earth, which are the water, dust, wind and fire. So that are the essentials, or of which the body of an individual has been created. The other component of this human body is that soul, which is attached to the malakut, or the spiritual world, which is known as nafs. In Quran you find ruh, that's the same thing. You have Jan, as we say in Farsi or Urdu, Jan, it's that same thing. When we say aql, it's that same thing. And dil, or the heart, or fu'ad, which we have in Arabic in Quran, again all these are the same different definitions and terms, and they turn back to that soul of an individual, or the spirit of an individual. Now this soul that Allah has given to us, it's that gem, it's that essence, it's that substance which is mujarrad, that is, which is not material, and which has been given to us from that alam, which is malakut, which is that spirituality or the immaterial world. And again, this soul that has been given to us, it's that pure substance, and the substance of the soul, it's the same as the substance of the angels. With that material with which, or that substance with which the angels were created, the soul of an individual also has been created with that same substance. Now we don't seem to understand these things, and we don't seem to see them. The reason is because the eye which Allah has given to us, or that inner eye, that is blind. It doesn't see the reality, the haqa'iq. That is why understanding many of these things become a bit tough. So if that eye of an individual, which is the spiritual eye, is open, they would see this entire creation of Allah with a different format, with a different view, and everything would look different. But our sights, they are stuck to these eyes, which is stuck to the skull, and which sees only limited amount of things. And that is why, to understand again this whole concept of the body and the soul being two different things, and the existence of the soul, you find that in Quran, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was asked about this ruh, this soul. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ. People, they came to him and asked about the ruh, about the spirit. And in reply he doesn't explain to the people what that ruh is. Says that وَقُولَ الرُّوحِ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي, that this ruh is by the command of my Lord. And that's the only answer which he gives, the Holy Prophet, and doesn't give any more explanation for that. So ruh, it's something by the command of Allah which has been sent to us, which has been given to us. And again, if you look into the Surah Al-Qadr, which is highly recommended to be recited in this sacred month at least 1,000 times a day, and most of these English translations that you have over here don't give a correct translation of what that is. For example, it was just recited that Inna Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. Sometimes they translate this qadr as the night of power. Sometimes as, what did you just say, grand night, which is in a sense degrading that great night. It is not the night of power. It's not from qadr meaning power. It's not from qudra. Qadr is the measure. Laylatul Qadr is that night of measure. If we don't translate it, just say Laylatul Qadr, it's much more safe. Laylatul Qadr, it's that night of measure when everything is measured. And that Qadr, it's from the measure, not from Qudrat meaning might, meaning power and grand. That is degrading the Laylatul Qadr. Says that Laylatul Qadr خير من ألف شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها, that the angels and the spirit descend. Sometimes they say that by spirit it is Jibreel alayhi salam. That's not the case. Jibreel, he is from the angels. When it says that تنزل الملائكة, Jibreel is also included in those malaika. Ruh, it's a'zam min al-malaika. Ruh, it's greater than the angels. So that is again just in brackets being mentioned over here, that talks about ruh in Surah Al-Qadr, that the angels descend and the ruh also descends. Not that ruh meaning Jibreel also descends. That is not right, because Jibreel is among the angels himself. So that is one. So we have to know what this ruh is. We have to know what that body is, and to understand, the body is known by everyone. Even animals know what the body is. When it is summer, when it is winter, they could take care of their body. If they need food, they can nourish it with whatever food is required for that body. So body is nothing. Body, even animals who don't have that intellect, they can take care of. So when Allah gives so much of emphasis, or when this ruh is to be ascended and purified from contamination, it is something else, not the body. So, to understand that this soul exists in us, another way to know is that the soul is attached to us is when a person is asleep. So the body is resting, all the senses are shut, but you find that this soul is roaming around in different corners of the world. So that is that human soul, human self, which is in the body, which is roaming around, and that is where you find, you see all the different dreams. The purer a person is, that is, the lesser sins and contamination this individual has, it elevates and ascends to higher and higher zones, many a times to different levels of the skies. And that is why you find that many a times people, they find solutions for their problems, what is going to unfold in the future, in the dreams. The reason for that is the soul, it's so pure, it gets access to all these different zones where normally access is denied when it is otherwise and with the body. So the whole idea is that the soul has to be purified. A person has to elevate, a person has to ascend. And if you look into the performance of the noble, the great men, among them it's Marhumatullah al-Uzma Qazi. He says that whenever, once in a while, these visions are shown to every individual. When they are shown to you, thank Allah. Don't get proud. Don't be proud. Thank Him and ask Him to increase them. To increase those blessings, those favors, that is, showing of the unseen to this individual. And when that unseen is shown to you, we would be, our performance also would be better, and a person will benefit more from this world. So these nights that we are in, this month of Ramadan, this is one of those beautiful months when a person ascends higher and higher in these 30 days, and the result and the fruit of it can be seen on the day of Eid. You can benefit it yourself, you can witness it yourself, that on the day of Eid you feel so light. Not that you've lost your weight, that is one part of it. That is one side of it. No, the lightness is, we feel elevated. On that day when we say our prayers, we find that there is a connection that is being initiated, and that is to the unseen. So the topic is regarding the soul, and so the first thing which Rasulullah says that man arafa nafsah faqad arafa rabbah, whosoever knows himself, who knows his soul, faqad arafa rabbah, indeed he has known his Lord, his God. And again, if you look into Quran, it says that وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا, that nafs, that soul, and he who has made it perfect. فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا, then he inspired it to understand what is right and what is wrong for that soul. And then قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا, that whosoever purifies this soul is prosperous, is that person who is successful. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا, and he who contaminates or corrupts that soul is the one who will fail. May Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala help us in the forthcoming nights in understanding these sayings of Ma'sumin alayhi salam, and help us in elevating and ascending towards purification and purity. The Eid of these nights be the arrival of the Imam of time. The Eid of these nights be the gaining of the pleasure of the Imam of time. May he be happy with us, and may he grant us further and further tawfiqat, so that a better service be performed in this month, and may this month be enlisted and registered in our performance report among the best months of servitude and worship of the Almighty Allah in this month. All those who are ill and ailing, all those who have requested for dua, all those who have passed away to elevate their ranks, for those afflicted in this catastrophe in Pakistan, for all Muslims worldwide, for each one of them, we'll recite the ayah a few times. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ. That Allah has, it could be classified into two things, or everything that is in this grand creation of Allah, it could be classified into two parts. For example, if you see Surah Al-Mulk, starts saying that تَبَارَكَ الَّذِي بِيَدِهِ الْمُلْكِ, given to you, that you have to take care of your body. You can't destroy it, you can't ruin it, you can't hurt it. وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ, that you don't put yourself into danger. Because why? Because this body is an amanat that has been given to us, which has to be returned back to Him. So the creation first, that is, we have come from Allah and we are heading to Allah. That is, the soul was given to us by Allah, and this soul has to be submitted and returned back to Allah. It is an amana that has been given to us, and this amana has to be returned back to Him. So that is why we find that when so much of emphasis is in Surah Al-Mulk and this Malakut in Surah Yasin, both are translated as kingdom, Mulk and Malakut. The reality behind that is Mulk is the kingdom of matter, which is the material world. Malakut, it is the unseen, it's the moral world, it's the spiritual world. So that glory belongs to Him who possesses, or in whose possession is the kingdom. Or in Surah Al-Yasin, the last verse says that وَسُبْحَانَ الَّذِي بِيَدِهِ مَلَكُوتُ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ, that glory belongs to Him in whose possession is the kingdom of everything. So what is the difference in that mulk